Good morning, everyone. I have a very interesting adventure for us today. I'm going to be visiting the Montana megaliths. These are what some people say are ancient stone structures. That's what a megalith is. It's an ancient stone structure. Think of Stonehenge. It's that sort of thing. And there are reportedly a number of these megaliths, a number of these stone structures. Most of them are supposed to be stone tombs, but there are other things around here too. And these are supposed to be thousands of years old. And so these are kind of a fringe thing. As far as I can tell, these aren't really supported by mainstream archaeologists. I'm going to reserve judgment here. I'm going to show you a bunch of different sites here today in 3 different groups. This is the first group, and this is the only thing, this one that we're going to, this is the only thing in this group, but the other groups have multiple structures. Anyway, you'll figure it out as we go through this video. The one that I'm heading to now is the most famous of the structures. It's called a dolmen, and that's a word that we're going to be using a lot today. A dolmen is a prehistoric rock tomb, and most of them are a couple of stones, of upright stones on the sides with a stone table sort of thing on top. And these are found around the world. South Korea, or Korea, I'm guessing the Korean peninsula in general, has a lot, like a half or something, a significant percentage of all of the dolmens in the world. But again, they're in Africa, they're in Europe, they're all over the place. And so anyway, these Montana megaliths, are they dolmens? Are they megaliths? Or are they just natural rock formations? I'm going to show you a bunch today. You can reserve your own judgment, you can make your own call, and I'll tell you what I think at the end of the video today. We're almost there. Do you see that thing? That is where we're headed. This beauty is called Tyser Dolmen. The main road through this area, through the canyon, is called Tyser Lake Road. And so this is Tyser Dolmen. Dolmen, again, being a prehistoric tomb with, you've got the 2 uprights here, and then you've got that capstone there. And there's a gap in between the 2 uprights. From this side, it's probably 20-25 feet tall. Let's go take a look around the back. And so from this side, it's what, 12 or 15 feet tall? I'm 5'11", so you can get an idea for yourself of how tall this thing is. Here's a closer look at the back and of the rock in general. It's covered in multicolored lichens, greens, blacks, tans. This is all granite out here. And I say out here because, I mean, the whole mountainside is covered in boulders. The whole mountainside is like one giant boulder, basically, and there are just thousands and thousands or millions and millions of boulders out here. I encourage you guys to Google this and read what other people have to say about it, or watch some of the other YouTube videos about it. This is a very special place, a spiritual place even, for some people. Like, they'll come here and they'll play music and they'll touch the rock and be able to feel the resonant frequency of the rock, of this spiritual place. Definitely worth coming to, definitely worth the visit. It took about 15 minutes to hike to the Kaiser Dolmen, and usually I put GPS coordinates in the video description of the places that I go. I'm not going to do that for anything in this video. I think sort of part of the appeal, part of the allure of these places is that you have to do a little bit of work for yourself. Everything that I'm seeing here today, I found information for online. I found GPS coordinates for them online, and so if I can do it, you can do it too. I will say that I found 2 different coordinates for this thing, for the Kaiser Dolmen, and the one to the west is the accurate one. The other one is like on a different ridge to the east a little bit here. And so from here, you might remember that I said that there are 3 different sections of these rock formations, of these dolmens, that I wanted to see today. This is the first one. We're going to go to number 2, which is to the north of here, kind of toward Helena. Basically everything that we see today is going to be in the Helena Butte area of southwestern Montana. And I'm kind of in the middle of the 3 areas right now, and we're going to go to the north to number 2. It's probably a half an hour drive from here. Okay, it's about 35 minutes later, and we're in yet another really beautiful area in the mountains. We're only about 8 or 10 miles south of Helena right now. But once again, we have mountains covered in boulders, covered in cliffs. And I have GPS coordinates for 3 different dolmens, or rock structures, rock tombs, rock formations, whatever you want to call them. 3 of them in this area, in section number 2, area number 2. There's also this thing here. This is a pipe hanging from paracord from a tree. Let's whack it with a stick. Okay, I guess that's an okay sound. Just sounds like you're hitting a pipe with a stick. Okay, I think this is the first one over here, the first dolmen. So I found GPS coordinates for several dozen of these, and I chose a few in each spot that looked like the best ones. And so this one was called 15th Dolmen on the information that I saw. What do you think? Natural or man-made? Is this just a fluke of nature? Or is this a Neolithic tomb? It's a little tunnel. You can walk through it, walk underneath it. And that's just about it for this one. There is another one just on the other side of the road. Let's go check that out. Okay, strangely enough, this one also has one of these yellow pipes added. This one is called 14th Dolmen. It's not quite as dramatic. I mean, there's a little hole underneath here, but we do have another pipe. I don't know if these are supposed to be sounds. I don't know if this is supposed to be hit with something, but kind of weird, kind of weird. If you were of the belief that this is a kind of a spiritual and or ancient site, I don't know why you would drill a screw into the rock and hang something from it and paint it, but here we are. And then over here, interestingly, we have a couple of little signs. I mean, I think at some point this said something like, there's an arrow here, but I don't know what I don't know what this was supposed to have said. There's also this saying 18. I mean, this looks like something used for chopping down trees, like to identify areas where they're gonna cut some trees. And then just across the road from that is a spray painted silver tire hanging from the tree. No idea what the deal is with this. Anyway, these are the two main dolmens to see here. There is another one that's that I need to get back in the car to go find. It's in the same general area, but I need to backtrack a little bit. Oh, and I didn't notice this on the way in, but on the way out, I noticed this this orange pipe hanging from a tree. Interesting. Believe it or not, I did clean off my windshield twice yesterday, and it's already just a bloodbath of little bugs on there. This next one is called 13th Dolmen and is several hundred feet off the road. It'll take us a few minutes to get there on foot. I glanced off to my left as I was hiking up and saw this. Saw some color on the rocks. Then there's some more up here. Brutter, okay. This one was a little bit harder to find. It's part of a larger group of a lot of boulders, so you have to kind of wander around a little bit to find the exact right spot, but we did it, we found it. And that'll do it for area number 2, or spot number 2. What do you think about these 3 spots that I showed you guys here? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. I'm now gonna go to spot number 3, which has the highest concentration of these things, whether you want to call them dolmens or rock formations or whatever. There are 6 or 8 or 10 of them that I have marked. And it's about an hour drive to the south to get there, so I'll meet back up with you guys once I get there. And welcome now to the first location that I wanted to see and show you guys in area number 3. This one is interesting. It's a little bit different. This one I have marked as compass / stone circle / moon alignment. And so in the center here you have this kind of triangular shaped boulder and some smaller various shaped boulders around the outside. So this is in the middle of a larger circle. And I don't know if you could really see that in the drone footage that I shot here, but in the satellite view, if you look at this spot, there's kind of a circle, a rim of upturned earth, at least that's what it looks like, around this area. And this is right at the center of it, and the main dirt road through the area is right here. The dirt road kind of goes through that very outer edge of the circle. This is interesting. I just spotted a splash of color here, and there's a little pumpkin. I mean, these look brand new. These must have been placed here in the last day or so. A couple of little apples. Offerings, maybe? And so once again, we have to ask ourselves, natural or man-made? All right, let's get in the car and drive further into the mountains over here. The next spot is the real sort of nexus of these sorts of things in the area. I have, I think, 7 or 8 little points of interest marked on the map. We'll go to each one, see what we can find, see if anything looks interesting. We have right along the road here a bunch of boulders. This whole little hillside here is full of just large boulders and small cliffs, and I think I can see the first dolmen that I have marked. Right there, you can see that larger boulder perched on top of a couple of smaller boulders. You can see that little gap underneath. Let's go get a closer look. Actually, this might be what I was looking for, and we get kind of a 2-for-1 deal here. We have the lower one and the upper one. It's a little bit hard to film this given how steep this slope is and where the sun is, but I'll insert myself into the picture here to give you guys a sense of scale. Whoa. I think this is about the best I can do. I finally found another good one here. There are a couple of boulders. Looks like 3 boulders on top of this narrow little cleft in the rocks. Okay, this is cool. This is one that I saw a picture of, but didn't have the coordinates for, so I'm glad I kind of stumbled across it here. This is called the Pink Vault. It's this lighter colored rock, or a couple of rocks, almost enclosed by these larger, flatter stones. And here's a closer look. Again, I pose the question, natural or man-made? Looking at the smaller boulders underneath this giant boulder, I'm seeing some evidence of drilling. So these boulders have been drilled and split apart. And also over here. I've seen those markings before in the past. I'm reminded of some boulders in Little Cottonwood Canyon outside of Salt Lake City. And I don't remember if those boulders were broken apart to make room for the road that goes up the canyon, or if they were quarried for their granite for use in the Salt Lake Temple there in Salt Lake City, the LDS Temple. I don't remember, but it's one of those, I'm pretty sure. Alright guys, so I spent about an hour out there wandering around, scrambling around and across and over those rocks, and it's very hot inside the car here, and had a great time. That was a lot of fun. It was fun seeing all the interesting rock formations and everything, and my overall thoughts on what I've seen here today and what I've shown you guys is that it all just looks natural to me. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in the mountains. I've climbed about 300 mountains. I've been a rock climber for a couple decades. I've done hundreds, probably thousands of rock climbs. I'm very familiar with rock and rocks and mountains. That said, I'm not an expert. You know, I'm not a geologist and I'm not an archaeologist, so keep that in mind. But from what I've seen today, it all just looks natural. These all just look like natural rock positions to me. I didn't see anything that looked especially out of place or out of the ordinary. Even Tizer Dolmen, I mean, that was really cool. I think that was probably the most unique thing that I've seen today. But even that, I mean, it just looked like a boulder that has split in half. And I've seen a lot of boulders with splits, you know, with cracks in them. It just looked like that.
with another rock on top of it. And like I said earlier, these mountains are covered with just millions of rocks, millions of boulders. Probably the most interesting thing to me today was that compass circle alignment thing. You know, on the ground, it's pretty hard to distinguish that as a circle, but it's definitely visible. It was visible to me in the drone footage. I don't know how well that came across in the footage. And then also on Google Maps, or the satellite view on Google Maps or Google Earth, there's definitely what looks like a circle there. So that I could imagine, you know, maybe that was made by Native Americans. Are these things that I've seen here, are these dolmens, these formations, are they really tombs? I don't think so. They just look like the process of natural serendipity to me. And that doesn't mean that they're not interesting or beautiful or fun to look at or fun to explore, fun to find. But I don't think they're ancient megalithic structures. Those are my thoughts. Those are my 2 cents. One other thing that I wanted to mention, the lady who is like the major proponent of this theory, of this Montana megaliths theory, she has some, what to me are pretty out there theories, like super woo-woo stuff, like seeing petrified animals in all of the cliff faces and things like that. And so, you know, it's interesting stuff. I don't think it's what she thinks it is. We differ there, but again, I'm not an expert, but neither is she. And so, as far as I can tell, there haven't been any professionals in these fields who have confirmed that these are ancient man-made structures. But, you know, that can change. I guess we're still early days in the whole Montana megaliths theory. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'm actually going to head home now. I'm leaving Montana. I have 7 or 8 hours of driving to do to get back home to Wyoming today. I'm going to try to do that drive all today. And so this will be the last video from this trip. But again, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your favorite part was. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.